Munster final day, very, very special occasion, and obviously I suppose the weather today couldn't be any different to the last time Limerick and Tip met in Pairc in the Munster Championship.
Yeah, absolute monsoon conditions last autumn here in Pairc, and today just polar opposites. The ground is going to be so hard, sweltering heat. First time maybe that the water breaks will actually be of great value in terms of the actual water and not the tactics board.
Sure, and I mean, even driving to the ground today, you know, people enjoying a few liquid refreshments outside some of the hostelries on the way in. Obviously not as many here as we'd like, but there's a feeling of a Munster final about it, isn't there, from that point of view?
Yeah, certainly. You know, that last game in Pairc down here last year, you know, we parked here in the ground outside the wall. You know, you didn't meet a sinner. I think there was a family that lives here in Cork. I met him outside on that occasion. They came down to cheer the Limerick team off the bus on that day, and then back home to watch it in their house. But today, you know, there's a couple of Limerick jerseys in around the quays. You can see the Limerick jerseys coming down the road through Charleville, Mallow, and you know, in through Cork City, and it's great, you know, to see. It's only the 7,000, but it's great. We're getting there bit by bit, you know, all going well. We'll have a bigger attendance down the road, but for that 7,000 Limerick and Tip supporters today, you know, great to be back in a Munster final, the first Munster hurling final here since Pairc was redeveloped, and you know, it has the makings of a real big occasion.
I suppose, you know, John Kiely named he's starting 15 on Friday night. I suppose the big talking point was the fact that Aaron Gillane wasn't included. Was that the big talking point from your point of view, did you think?
Yeah, certainly. You know, the messages and the phone calls were pretty soon after the team was announced at 9 o'clock on Friday night. Everyone wondering, you know, what is the story? It appears it's just a selection choice. You know, Aaron, that we know of, isn't carrying any knocks or nothing like that. Just shows the quality of players available to John Kiely, and you know, we have two current All-Stars, Dan Morrissey and Aaron Gillane, on the bench, and you know, what competition for places that is, and you know, most likely to see those two players at some point, you know, across the 70 minutes as well. But yeah, a big call for management. No doubt they have the stats and everything else to back it up. We assume Tom Morrissey would probably go on to freeze, and he actually took freeze here in Pairc back in 2018 on the day when Aaron Gillane was sent off early in that game. It ended up a draw, so Tom will have that to fall back on in terms of his free taking. So yeah, a big call, but you know, big day for Graham Mulcahy as well to get back in, because he'd missed the early parts of the league, and you know, he brings huge experience to it. So yeah, only time will tell, of course. You know, John Kiely and the management put their heads on the blocks when they name these teams. More often than not across the last 4 years, they've made the big calls correct.
Bruce Springsteen and glory days playing behind us, Jerome, at the moment. Do you think today can be a glory day for Limerick, that they can, you know, achieve 3 in a row, something I suppose the county hasn't achieved for a number of decades? Yeah,
85 years, you know, since Mick Mackey and co won 3, and they won 4 indeed, and that occasion 33 to 36. It says something about where Limerick hurling is right now, that they've got this, you know, to chase today, and it's no more than they deserve what they've given us for the last couple of years. Can they do it? I think if Limerick are at their best, they will win. But you know, if there's any dip at all, no better county than Tipperary to slip in there and claim the prize on offer. I think, you know, Limerick were far superior in 2019, but you can have no doubt that's in the minds of every single Tip player, management, backroom staff and supporter coming down here today. They will not want to repeat that, and that's a huge motivation to them, regardless of how we got here or who you beat to get here. It's a huge motivation for them. Limerick will have their own motivations, and no doubt, but I just feel they're going to have to be very close to their best to get this victory. I do think they'll get it, but you know, any slip-ups, and there's very formidable opposition waiting to punish.
I suppose the heat is going to be huge factors, and temperature in the high 20s here. You know, it's sweltering walking in, let alone having to play 75-6 minutes of a championship hurling match.
Yeah, and look, Limerick's conditioning has never been found wanting, with Joe O'Connor and Mikey Kiely now in recent years. They're supremely conditioned, supremely fit. This is going to be, you know, a serious test for any hurler out there today, to hurl at pace, you know, to make the right calls with, you know, sweat beads coming down your forehead and into your helmet, and the pressure of the occasion, never mind the temperatures. So it is a big ask for players, but as I said, the conditioning of Limerick is absolutely supreme. So you would hope it wouldn't be an issue for them. And also, as we mentioned already, when you have the likes of Aaron Gillan, Dan Morrissey, David Reedy, Pat Ryan, experienced players like that, not to mention the young teenagers like Colin O'Neill and Colin Coughlin, all on the bench that could come in that last quarter down the home straight.